Alright, this is my third attempt at a video because my first two attempts failed for various reasons, so I'm hoping that the third time's a charm on this. This is my video for 7.4, and thank you for getting on here and watching. And first I just wanted to comment a little bit on the videos and how they related to my own personal experiences, I guess, with ability. And my personal beliefs for people's abilities are actually very much a discrepancy against what I have probably subconsciously felt about my own abilities. I would say that in general, I am a big fan of the incremental view of ability, and I don't believe that ability is a fixed function. I don't think that you can determine ability without practice of a skill, and kind of like what Gladwell was saying, I don't know if you need necessarily 10,000 hours worth of practice to really develop a skill, but there has to be some, and maybe perhaps some people are just born good at some things, and for them, great. But others, I think you really, in general, you need to be able to foster a skill, and to say, right away that someone does not have an ability in one subject really closes a lot of doors for that person. And, an ability in one domain cannot necessarily predict ability in all other domains, closely related ones, even entirely separate ones. But I'm thinking about that 8-factor intelligence test. I kind of like that test because it really shows, to me at least, that there's several different ways that one can be or have abilities in different domains, and then not be as strong in others. But to have a blanket statement like somebody is just not good at this, that, or the other, I think is very limiting, and it might discourage practice that could someday become great ability in something. And I guess my example there would also be the sports analogy of, baseball is not analogous to football, and nobody expects, Pete Rose to have been like the best football player ever. And so to say that, one person's good at sports is such a blanket statement when really there's so many different things that can be built up into that. And so I guess that kind of brings me into my own personal and societal, they're kind of connected, views of ability. In society, it seems like it's, by and large, society seems to preach that people sometimes are just born good at a skill. Whereas, like I just touched on with practice, there's so much of the practice that goes into that. And I think that even though my mom really counteracted a lot of my negative self-thoughts by encouraging me to try something again, even if I didn't do well at it the first time, which was very helpful, I don't think I took that to heart as much as I should have. And for example, another sports analogy, when I was in high school and junior high, I did a lot of running, and I just assumed that I would not ever be good at other sports because, I was good at running, but that was about, I kind of felt like that was about as lucky as I'm going to get, and I never tried anything else. And even now, when I'm, playing football, like with my boyfriend, I really have to try to counteract negative self-thoughts about, how I'm doing with that, because it's just been so instilled in my head for myself that, I'm just not good at something because I tried it once and wasn't good at it, or something like that. But that's just a big discrepancy between my thoughts of how people should think and how I actually think. I was definitely, I bought into that learned helplessness model so much, and still do. Whereas, if I don't want to, or if I don't think I'm going to be good at something, I really don't even want to try it anymore. So because I'm running short on time, I guess I will touch briefly on a couple of applications for learning that I got from Dweck's theory, and some suggestions for the classroom. I think the incremental view is more valuable, but it's very difficult to foster that kind of thinking in all students, especially the high and low achievers. So it's very important to emphasize hard work and effort, and not strictly emphasizing ability, and to not put labels on people. To say that a student like Jimmy is a math student, or oh, Jimmy's just not a science student. Jimmy might just take that to be, well, I will never be good at science no matter what, and never make an effort in science beyond that, never enjoy learning it. So students take things to heart and to always remember that. And finally, that this kind of thinking needs to be fostered in childhood, where on average, I would say children are more or are less self-conscious about potential of mistakes and failures and have less inhibitions on average. So this is the time to really try to build up that desire to try. And that is all with my video, and I will see you all in class next week. Thank you.